The good thing of doing grab bag reviews is that once in a while you'll come across a hidden gem, a really good movie that I like, and I get to talk about it. Hi, I'm Gunnar. This is my review of 1995 Copycat, directed by Jon Amiel, starring Sigourney Weaver and Holly Hunter. Now, this movie follows a psychiatrist and a cop and her team hunting down a serial killer whose entire shtick is that he is inspired by other famous serial killers, so he's copying the way they killed their victims and presented the victims to the cop or the tours, or how the victim was discovered. And the serial killer himself, he's got a personal connection to these two as well. So the plot is really intriguing. And I'll tell you this, the movie absolutely does the plot justify, because it is absolutely thrilling, amazing, and really good. So the opening scene sets the tone right away. So it's Sigourney Weaver almost getting killed by a serial killer. Seriously, it's shocking, it's brutal, and it sets the mood of the movie exactly, because what will follow will be no less gory and gruesome as what you've just seen in the first scene. Now, I want to talk about the main character first, Helen and MJ. They are really phenomenal. Sigourney Weaver gave an excellent performance of this psychiatrist who's also out of her mind. She's not stable, and she performed that really well. And there's still the sense of the strong feminism empowerment that Sigourney Weaver brings in many of her roles. It's prominent here, and I really like it. Holly Hunter's MJ is also really great at being a cop. She's a great cop, I'll tell you that. And it's not like one is carrying each other. They are a duo. Neither one is a leader or a follower. They work together, and that is really nice to see. Although I'm kind of surprised to see that there's not much screen time of these two characters, like working it out alone, like researching alone. Most of the time, they are doing their own separate things, and there will be like a meeting scene once every 10-20 minutes, usually after a case, discussing what happened and what to do next. And also, in the third act, which we'll get to later. Another character that I really like is Ruben. He's MJ's cop partner, and he is charismatic as hell. I would say he's the comic relief of the cast, but he's not like funny. He's charismatic funny. He's charmingly brings the joy and brings the mood and tone down from serious to a little bit more light, which I found that really nice, honestly. But my god, does they do this character so unjustified. Okay, full spoiler warning, okay? I'm probably gonna put a timestamp somewhere here, so skip to that timestamp if you want to spoiler, okay? 3, 2, 1. Why did they kill Ruben so ungraciously? It's not even a heroic death. It's just, he just died for no reason. And the way he died, it's not related to the case. He just died because, I don't know, the script decided him to. It just doesn't make sense, right? Why would they do that? If they're gonna write his character off, he should die heroically, helping MJ and Helen to, solve the case. Getting killed by the murderer. Yeah, I think that will be more sad than he just being killed by a random Chinese juvenile. It doesn't make sense. It's just annoyed the hell out of me, and I got so mad when that scene came up. It just came out of nowhere, and it doesn't move the plot forward either. His death is mentioned for like 10-20 seconds, and then never mentioned again. They just need a cheap way to write his character off, and that was got to be real mad. He deserves better. Justice for Ruben. Justice for Ruben. Hello, post-production Gun here, coming from the editing stage. Now, I just realized that his death actually is significant to the story, because his death is what motivates MJ to not disarm, but kill the villain in their final standoff, because it's Helen who just disarmed the Chinese juvenile and didn't kill him, and that not killing him makes Ruben died, right? So that's the tipping point, and what makes the murderer get killed. Which, wow, I didn't realize that. Cool, nice detail. But I'm still annoyed that Ruben died. Yeah. Anyway, back to video. The rest of the characters are cops, and they're bringing some cop drama elements to it. Like, oh, love triangle. Oh, MJ had an affair with this cop. Why? Why bring that up? It doesn't really move the story, and it doesn't really get mentioned again, and it just makes me really goddamn uncomfortable. No, thank you. Alright. Now, let's talk about the killer, the copycat killer. The guy who played him, his performance is absolutely amazing. He played this lunatic, crazy serial killer role really well. He has this creepiness and this uncertainness and this like cockiness in him that pretty much sells the serial killer factor. If you look at him, you'll know he's a serial killer right off the bat. And the movie doesn't really try to hide him either. Like, pretty much halfway through, you pretty much know who he is and what he looks like, but you will not know what his background and motives are. Which, the interesting part is that it was barely touched on, but it did kind of resolves the story, which also, he looks a lot like Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant from Heretic if he was young. Young Hugh Grant with glasses. The horror elements. One aspect I like about this movie is that it uses some elements of the early 90s internet into its horror, which back then could be found, cool. But in the 2000s or 2010s, people will find that corny, right? But nowadays, in the 2020s, in the age of modern internet horror and ARGs and analog horrors, would kind of appreciate that element being present here, although it might not be a huge part of the horror or the story, but it is there, it is present, and I dig it. Another aspect I appreciate about this movie is that every kill in this movie, well, except from that guy, every kill and every corpse scene in this movie is treated with a level of respect. It's not like a slasher movie where a character is being killed for shock value or anything. The kills are disturbing, but it doesn't make you feel scared for our protagonist, but it makes you build hatred against the serial killer itself. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the third act now. The way it just becomes full circle. The way they reckoned the past, the scenes that you may think as a throwaway, but it comes back to bite them in the third act, in the final showdown, I found that to be just a cherry on top. It wows me. It amazes me. It's like, wow, they've played me. It's really cool to see, right? And again, this movie is just a great Sigourney Weaver and Holly Hunter badass machine. And I'm not complaining at all, but that is also really good, and I really like, except for something. But overall, it's a hidden gem. I really like it. I really recommend this. This movie may not be as well renowned as Silence of the Lambs, Seven, or in the future, Zodiac, but I do feel like this movie have enough of its own sauce that it's just, but that it just creates yet another entertaining detective manhunt serial killer movie that I just ate it up. I love it. I really like it. I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 5. That's right, not a 4 this time, 4 out of 5. Woo! I was meant to say 4.5 out of 5. Damn it! So yeah, thank you for watching this review. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more of this casual grab bag review conversation by me, please kindly click subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you. That was really good.